of the institute. First, about regulation. Second, about statistics, to have accurate data so that you can guide the decision makers. And then we have to also propose some policies. Policies for what? To leverage remittances. So we are targeting two countries on the continent, and we are working with both of them. It is Nigeria and Egypt.
The issue of remittance is also very central. What the data we have for remittances is capturing remittances through official channels. Now, what we have come to also discover is that there is a lot of remittances coming in through non-formal channels, legal but non-formal. Now, that is not being captured. If you have $10,000 cash, you can move out of Nigeria with it without anybody asking you to declare it. If you have $10,000 and below, when you are coming in, you don't also have to declare it. So these figures are not reflected on the remittance figures which you have. And as an institute, we definitely would like you people to work on how do you capture non-formal remittances, because a lot of it in Africa, a lot of it, people carry cash across borders, but it's not reflected. A lot of the remittances, you know, some studies done, local studies, shows that about 70% of the remittances go to support families, school fees, feeding, education, medical bills, and in our own local parlance here, entertainment.
Dealing with Nigeria equals to addressing at least 75% of the issues Africa faced with remittances, and that is why a consultative meeting is being held in Abuja, Nigeria.
The establishment of the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, as well as the adoption of the National Diaspora Commission in 2021 in Nigeria, are critical milestones that show the strong commitment of the government to engage its diaspora for social and economic development, for their families, their communities, their hometowns, and the country at large. These are in perfect harmony with the current work of the African Institute for Remittances, who has embarked on developing a comprehensive program for leveraging remittances for development in the EU member states. This program, which constitutes the third pillar of the main objectives of the Institute, aims at providing to the EU member states the required strategic tool to reap the potential benefit of remittances. In the framework of the design of the leveraging program, AIR has envisaged to adopt an inclusive approach, collaborating with key stakeholders, including public institutions, private sector operators, diaspora organizations, international organizations, and other stakeholders. The draft AIR roadmap for leveraging remittances for development program has passed through a series of consultative meetings with experts from the EU member states. We've also experts from the private sector and other stakeholders during the continental meetings held in Lusaka, Zambia, and Mombasa, Kenya in 2022. These series of consultation will continue at the regional level and finally the country level. As we are developing the whole process, we have intended to work closely with reference countries, among which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Therefore, our meeting aims at looking at remittances from a regional perspective, and in doing so, learn from the experience of NICOM within the ECOWAS region. The active participation of diaspora in designing and implementing development programs is considered as one of the key drivers of change towards attainment of AIR objectives. of the past years, African in diaspora have been supporting their families through remittances to satisfy basic needs such as food, education, and healthcare. These remittances have has proven to be essential in lifting a considerable number of families out of poverty.
Let me start by appreciating the African Institute of Remittance here for the great work they are doing by establishing the platform for the development of roadmap for leveraging diaspora remittances in Africa and for recognizing the unique roles of the regional economic communities, the fintechs, and the remittance service providers, RSPs. I am optimistic that this meeting will be very impactful and bear positive outcomes at the end of the event. The federal government of Nigeria has always valued and cherished our citizens in the diaspora, especially in terms of the immense human capital resources they provide to the rest of the world and the positive values they add to our nation, Nigeria. Such values include skills and technology transfer, investments and remittances, bringing global best practices to our development efforts, and marketing Nigeria globally through showcasing our cultural heritage. Harnessing these resources requires that the barriers and challenges to maximizing diaspora contributions are promptly removed for the benefit of all, especially home countries. In Nigeria, for example, most doctors and other professionals who have made immeasurable contributions to the rest of the world in their host communities were trained by Nigerian institutions and mostly with public funds. It is therefore imperative that barriers for remittances are adequately addressed in such meetings and advocated for at the highest level. Families and home institutions as enablers of development by the diaspora in their host countries.
On the data side, we tried to develop a unified approach to measuring remittances inflow and outflow from economies in Africa. We were glad that Nigeria was chosen as one of the pilot nations. We have completed the pilot study. We understand better the flow pattern of remittances into Nigeria from the side of Nigeria. We are yet to understand from the side of the diaspora what challenges, what motivations they have. And therefore, this meeting for us at the Central Bank of Nigeria, compilers of the balance of payment, in which we report remittances for the country. This meeting will open doors for us to be able to interact with the diaspora with a view to understanding and creating connections with the data we compile. From the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Trade and Exchange Department designs policies and implements those policies that affect international transactions, including remittances. They are also therefore here to understand and how better to leverage on our discussions here to inform better policy designs. We have noted earlier that our banking and payments, the technical side that implements policies into um, uh, transaction platforms will also be joining this discussion as we move forward. Now, beyond financial, beyond monetary, Nigeria requires and would rely on its diaspora if at all we need this economy to have sustenance.
The essence is that it's a trust in the private sector and managed by the diaspora themselves with almost no government involvement. And the idea, it is important to take it from that perspective because it needs to go beyond communal or individual relationships. It needs to be institutionalized so that it will be properly regulated. And at the same time, the larger concerns that we have in Nigeria, and you can clear transparent framework with which the entire processes are clear enough for everybody to get involved, and everybody understands fully well the terms of engagement, what are the deliverables, and what are the expected outcomes.
Other participants made their contributions at the consultative meeting with development partners.
Basically, the remittance has been good. You can transfer from an African country like an Eco Bank in any of the affiliates, and the person that is the beneficiary in Nigeria does not even have to have an account. You can pick over the counter with a valid ID. Yes.
So what is it picking? Is it picking Naira or?
You can pick Naira or USD. It depends, but most times we advise the open account so that they can just pay into their Naira account.
Some of them want to invest in our fixed deposit, they want to invest in treasury bills, they want to invest in government bonds. We have a dedicated desk in our treasury department that cater for such requests. Once that request comes, we transfer them to let them know the rates we have, both in treasury bills, the rates in fixed deposit and government bonds. And some of them also, we share our business information with them. We call it our newsletter, which we send to those customers every day to enable them to have access to what rates are doing, to what investment opportunities are there for them. Anyone that would prefer, they will get in touch with that department and such transactions done for them.
And now let's join Boya Linko for some messages.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to take out of this country on greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down.
Do you have a job where you're going to? No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora saying without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad. Or even end up in prison.
Welcome back. If you must travel, travel legitimately. Now, how do you handle seizures, especially amongst children? Well, let's take a listen to this ANPA doctor on this all-important health issue.
A child having seizure at home is a very, very scary scene. It is something that no parent wants to see. It's something that you don't want to experience. It's nerve-wracking. But I just want you to be relaxed when a kid is having seizure. I want you to know that more than 95% of seizures would stop. And they will stop in the first 3 minutes and maximum in the first 5 minutes. I also want to reassure you that seizures that last up to 3 minutes and stops or 5 minutes and stops will not have any side effects in the brain. There won't be any brain damage. So when you see a kid having seizure, just know that most of these kids seizures will stop and they're not going to affect the brain. So what do? when a kid is having seizure, there are 5 major things that I would want you to do as a parent. One of those is to make sure that you put the child by the side. Just lay the child by the side. The reason you want to do that is that you want to be able to open up the airway so that that child is breathing well. And just in case the child is having a lot of secretions in the mouth, you want the secretions to be dropping from the mouth. And if for any reason the child vomits, you don't want that vomit to go back and aspirate the child. So put the child what we call the left lateral position. Put the child by the side. That's one thing I want you to do. The other thing that I want you to do is to make sure that the environment of the child is free of anything that is going to harm the child. Just take away things that would harm that child. And then the third thing is to stay with the child. Do not leave. Just stay there. Try and be calm. The fourth thing is to call for help. If somebody's at home, call the person. Just call for a little help. The last thing is, if there are medications, if it's a child who has been having seizures and who have medications that you are instructed to give, one of the medications we give is what you put in the bottom, in the anus. It's called Diastat. That's what we call it in America. I'm not sure what it's called in Nigeria, but if you have Diastat, it's diazepam that we put in the anus. If you have that, you do. Those are the 5 major things that I want you to do.
It is now time for our diasporan of the moment. Enjoy.
Our diaspora of the moment is Angelica Wando. Angelica was born in 1989 in Los Angeles, California, to Nigerian parents. She graduated from the University of Loyola, Marymount. Angelica is the founder of The Shade Room, an Instagram-based media empire reaching over 15 plus million active followers, roommates, and a highly engaged website founded in 2014. The Shade Room TSR is anchored on celebrating Black culture and entertainment, but transcends all celebrity news and society. Serving viral posts daily, Angelica and her company offer better spending time with their children for an unmatched balance of entertainment and enlightenment. In 2016, Forbes named Angelica to its 30 under 30 list, saying she revolutionized celebrity gossip with the founding of The Shade Room. Cosmopolitan reports that The Shade Room followers across platforms now total more than 8 million people. TechCrunch named her to its list of 18 female founders who killed it in 2015. And BuzzFeed says Angelica is figuring things out faster than everyone else. Angelica named to Forbes 30 under 30 list and called the opera of our generation, due as our diaspora of the moment.
I hope you had a swell time with us. Wishing you a new year, both at home and in the diaspora. Remain positive. I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. Bye for now.
The robustness and the effectiveness and efficiency of our sector under Buhari made it possible that we were elected a second time, many times into the council. Meaning that you cannot discuss civil aviation and take position without Nigeria being there. And we've been chairing many, many committees. I remember Captain Musa of NCA chaired many committees. Now Engineer Bentukur is there. Also, Ben is chairing so many committees. So we drew the world into Nigeria. This is what was not shown in the press. Because of what we are doing and the trust and belief in the Buhari aviation in Nigeria, the whole world came to Abuja for remotely piloted aircraft systems symposium. 170 countries came to Nigeria in Abuja, in the Hilton, at the time when they say that Nigeria is not secure. This is early enough in our government.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And welcome to another amazing edition of Your Weekend.
I'm telling you, it has to be heat, it has to be steamy, it has to be hot.
You know, but we've decided that, you know what, somebody has to tell a story that is family oriented.
That's how to fight you.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Movie.
It's the news everyone ever cared about.
See, when you say pour out, you can't call water. You can't see, you don't excavate water.
This is a #1 program, Gallery.
Do you love to gist or gossip?
It's marriage they joke. It is extremely wrong. And we cannot take it.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Whip and Grill. Welcome to the slant today, where we say it as it is and we get to enjoy ourselves talking about various things that are happening in our society.
I want to hear more, please. Beyond 6 packs.
But your job still remains as the man. To protect the woman, to project the woman.
You need to do that again.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, I think it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me. Remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that.
Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. President Muhammadu Buhari says as his administration draws to a close, efforts will be intensified towards accelerating the implementation of critical measures aimed at further improving the Nigerian business environment, enhancing the welfare of the people, and ensuring sustainable economic growth. This was while signing into law the 2023 Appropriations Bill and the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Bill, recently passed by the National Assembly. Let's hear more from State House correspondent Adam Sambo.
Flanked by the presiding officers and relevant committee chairman of the National Assembly, as well as key members of the executive, President Muhammadu Buhari formally approves the implementation of the 21.83 trillion naira 2023 budget, as well as the 2022 supplementary budget. while the 2023 budget is to promote fiscal sustainability, macroeconomic stability, and ensure smooth transition to the incoming administration, the supplementary budget is principally to enable the government respond to the devastating effect of the recent nationwide flooding on the nation's infrastructure and agricultural sectors.
The amended fiscal framework for 2023, as approved by the National Assembly, shows additional revenues of 765.79 billion naira and an unfunded deficit of 553.46 billion naira. I have also noted that the National Assembly introduced new projects into the 2023 budget proposal, for which it has appropriated 770.72 billion naira. The National Assembly also increased the provisions made by ministries, departments, and agencies by 58.55 billion naira,
while directing the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning to engage the legislature with a view to revisiting some of the changes made to the executive budget proposal. The President also urged the National Assembly to reconsider its position on the proposal to securitize the federal government's outstanding ways and means balance at the Central Bank of Nigeria. The balance, he explained, has accumulated over several years and represents funding provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria as lender of last resort to government to enable it meet its obligations to lenders as well as cover budgetary shortfalls.
I have no intention to fetter the right of the National Assembly to interrogate the composition of this balance, which can still be done even after granting the requested approval. Failure to grant the securitization approval would, however, cost the government about 1.8 trillion naira in additional interest in 2023.
Thus, notwithstanding, President Buhari said the 2023 capital votes will be released early to enable ministries, departments, and agencies to commence the implementation of their capital projects in support of efforts at delivering key projects and public services, as well as improving the living conditions of Nigerians.
Let me conclude by expressing my deep appreciation to Almighty God for His grace and commend the continued resilience, understanding, and sacrifice of our people in the face of current economic challenges.
Both chambers will ensure that we get revenues, we find more sources, better sources, stabilize the sources, and of course look into some of the legislations and some of the waivers and concessions granted to see whether or not they deserve to continue to be implemented in the way and manner they were approved, or we need to reverse them because we need money in our country. But that is not to say that we should raise taxes that will be out of the roof as to cause problem for our citizens.
The problem with the National Assembly is that you can't win to lose. If you return the budget the exact way it is, you're called rubber stamp. If you do what you're supposed to do and adjust figures for the good of the country, you call it jerking up. Executive did everything they could, and we have even a wider view, a bird's eye view of what's going on in all the agencies. And we have also complemented what the executive has done. It's all for the good of the country.
However, the Finance Bill 2022, which is critical to the effective implementation of the 2023 budget, and the attainment of the various set objectives is yet to be assented to, as some of the changes made by the National Assembly, President Buhari said, need to be reviewed by the relevant agencies of government. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Let's turn to other issues. Nigeria has promised to support the Republic of Burundi in critical areas of need in furtherance of African solidarity and brotherliness. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance while receiving the special envoy of the President of Burundi. Once more, let's hear from State House correspondent Adamu Sambo.
Although details of the Burundian leader's message were not disclosed, His special envoy and Minister of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, Odase Nyonzima, says his president sent goodwill for the new year to Nigerians and President Muhammadu Buhari. Burundi, he also says, wishes Nigeria well in the forthcoming general elections scheduled for February and March this year. As the envoy puts it, we pray that the polls would be peaceful and successful so that Nigeria would maintain her reputation as a bastion of peace and stability. On the request for assistance in the area of energy provision, particularly fueled by the Burundian leader, President Buhari says he knows what it feels like for a country to suffer from energy shortage. He therefore promised that he would get the NNPC Limited to look into the request. President Buhari maintains that he is looking forward to the polls and indeed retirement, having satisfied the constitutional requirement for 2 terms in office. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Smooth flow of traffic with corresponding happy faces of motorists and passengers are some feelers which emerged following the temporary opening of the second Niger Bridge at midnight Monday, January 2nd, 2023. Chinyere Okoli, our correspondent who has been monitoring the situation, observed that road safety officials are also on ground to ensure orderliness.
Relief and joy clearly registering on the faces of travelers as NTA arrived to monitor the flow of traffic around that axis.
I did use it while I was going to the east. Now I'm going back to Lagos. It just reduces your travel time, the stress and everything. Commendations to the government of the day timing. Whenever we are coming home, put about 2-3 hours to be wasted at Onitsha, but that has been cut off. So it means a lot to every traveler on these roads.
I'm happy because I'm from village now, heading to Asaba. I'm entering second Niger Bridge. That's good.
There was a heavy security presence at the bridge as various safety personnel were seen patrolling to ensure safety of lives and property and also to ensure that drivers plying the bridge adhere to traffic rules. Director Highways, Bridge and Design in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Engineer Oluropo Oyetade, who supervised the installation of some road furnitures and signs, pointed out that the move is to ensure free flow of traffic and to make the roads easily navigable and safer.
The signposts which were installed yesterday, and we are still doing some amendment too, they are to direct the traffic appropriately. Because where we are now, the traffic going by the left are to move to Obosi and to Onitsha, while those going to Asaba, Benin, Lagos axis are going by the right. So those signs are very important, and it started from the entrance of the quadrant over there.
The opening of the bridge will last till January 15 to enable contractors put finishing touches before the inauguration of the project. In Asaba, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
Still on road infrastructure, it was a moment of joy we hear for the people of Odido, an island in Ahu-Ada, west of River State, as Governor Nyesom Wike flags off the construction of the first road ever in the community. Ogedin Yekwe reports that the road is expected to be completed in 2 months.
Visible on the faces of the locals who came out in their number to welcome the governor for giving them a sense of belonging as Rivers people and understanding the imperative of a good road network to the community. Odido Island community are people of Ahoda West extraction, but living among the Itu and Akbabo people. They have never seen any government presence and no roads. Island can only be accessed through the river. This challenging terrain makes it difficult to attract development to the area. However, all that is about to change with the governor's development train touching down at the community. Governor Wike says he did not know that such an island existed in the state until it was brought to his attention by the Emohua Council chairman. The governor says the flag off of the Itu Odido Road is a great example of a people-oriented project. He expressed the hope that constructing a road to the community will not only make life more meaningful to the people, but will redefine their socio-economic landscape.
No access road from here, neither there's access road from the other side. So the only access road you have is through the water. And I'm hearing there are people who migrated down to this area. And nobody, has ever talked about them. And how would they know there's a government? The only way people know about government if they feel the presence of government.
Itu Odidio Road is a virgin road leading to the island of Odidio and will be completed in 2 months. In Emohua, Ogedinyekwere, NTA News.
Terror news for civil servants as the federal government has plans to increase the allowances of the civil servants starting from January 2023 to reduce the effect of the current economic realities. Minister of Labour and Employment Dr. Chris Ngige stated this when he featured an NTA Onitsha current affairs program Spotlight. Maureen Ezeokeke reports.
Minister said the federal government is quite aware of the challenges faced by the Nigerian workers in trying to make ends meet while delivering on their duties under the current harsh global economic situation. He noted that the federal government has no plans to increase workers' salaries as being quoted in some sections of the media, but has concluded plans to increase the allowances starting from January 2023.
You can see that the salary component is not being negotiated. It is the allowances that is being looked at. But this is the allowances that increase in cost of diesel, increase in cost of petrol, there's increase in prices of food items, yam, rice, oil, whatever you have. So this government, being a compassionate government, directed the salary, incomes and wages to liaise and work with the Presidential Committee on Salaries, chaired by the Minister of Finance. I am the co-chair of that Presidential Committee. So we have worked and looked at inflation and the indices and templates that brought up by salary, incomes and wages, and felt that there is need to give what we call peculiar allowance to cushion the effect of this rising cost of living.
The minister who scored the Buhari administration high in building infrastructure and the fight against corruption acknowledged that the administration could have done better if not for the limited resources at its disposal.
We had promised Nigerian people that we are going to handle the security, we are going to handle the issue of corruption, and we are going to handle the economy's infrastructure.
On harmonious industrial relationship between government and workers, the minister said the government is exploring legal means of ensuring that labor issues do not lead to industrial actions before they are resolved. In Onitsha, Maureen Ezokeke, NTA News.
Few weeks after the official release of the redesigned Naira notes, that's the new one, across the country, its unavailability across financial institutions and platforms in Benue State is generating reactions amongst residents. Moses Ode reports that most residents are yet to have a glance of the new notes since its release.
Heard that the Central Bank of Nigeria announced in October this year plans to redesign the 1,000, 500 and 200 bills of the Naira to address problem of high cost of printing, hoarding and counterfeiting of the currency.
We need to leapfrog into the cashless economy. We cannot continue to allow a situation where over 85% of the cash that is in circulation is outside the banks. And I've said it at different fora that this is not targeted at anybody. It is just meant for the good and the development of the Nigerian economy.
With the official date of December 15th for its distribution across the country, some financial institutions and point of sales in Makurdi are yet to receive the newly redesigned Naira notes as promised by the Apex Bank in October. This development, some residents of Makurdi say, portends negative signal for the ailing economy.
The little people who have it, sometimes you go to the market, people don't even trust it. They say it's fake, some say it's original. But then, it is a bit difficult at the moment.
I understand people are even buying the new Naira notes, but I've not seen it. It's not available.
Right now, that is not available. We are in dilemma, but we are believing that they have a plan and they will make it in circulation.
It was not available. I'm just coming out of First Bank here. I asked some questions. They said they have only had access to 1,000 Naira note. The other currency, the lower dimension, they've not seen it. They are still expecting it.
They appeal to the central bank and relevant agencies of government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure speedy circulation of the Naira to avoid tension. In Makudi, Moses Ode, NTA News.
All right, let's head to Lagos to join Adiola. She'll bring us our next set of reports.
Thank you, Ruth. Compliments of the season. As part of efforts by the Lagos State government to prioritize the welfare of its workforce to cushion the effect of inflation, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has approved salary increments to take effect from first quarter of this year. The head of service, Hakeem Muri-Okunla, disclosed this at the 2023 first day at work interdenominational prayers and thanksgiving for civil servants in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Another year of busy schedule for staff bus drivers has commenced as they convey civil servants to the state secretariat in Alausa, Ikeja. These civil servants have common purpose, and it is to join their colleagues and the leadership of the civil service at an annual interdenominational prayers and thanksgiving to usher in the first day of work in a new year.
I really come to work with full enthusiasm to start the new year, which I believe is going to be successful.
Coming back with the grace of God, with God's mercy, being alive, we pray that year 2023 will be glorious for every one of us in Lagos State.
Religious tolerance took the center stage as Muslim and Christian faithful supplicates to thank God and seek His guidance throughout the new year 2023.
This time in Lagos State, anyone that wants to cause any trouble, the Lord will arrest.
Part of the tradition is to intimate the workforce with government initiatives aimed at motivating them to perform better than the previous year.
Last year, for the first time in the history of our public service, we had a 100% end-of-year bonus. 50% we paid in December. We saved the remaining 50% for our workers for January. This shows the welfare nature of the administration. It's focused on staff and staff welfare.
The workforce were reminded to ensure they secure their permanent voters' cards to participate in the general election, which commenced in February this year. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
A good way to begin the working year. Fostering cultural diversity among officers and their host community is top priority to the current leadership of the Nigerian Air Force. This was displayed at the 2022 Base Socio-Cultural Activities BASA celebration of the Nigerian Air Force Logistics Command in Lagos. Kendi Adebisi has the details.
The Nigerian Air Force has continued to remain relevant in the fight against insurgency while ensuring the airspace is safe for navigation. This event is designed to bring families of personnel together. According to the commander, 651 Base Service Logistics Command of the Nigerian Air Force is to bridge the gap between personnel and the contemporaries from various geopolitical zones of the country.
We are here to showcase the unity and the diversity of our cultural background, and also to present to the entire community the talents that we have in some Edna Air Force Base.
Cultural display, tug of war, and other fun activities added color to the day. Beyond fostering socio-cultural diversity amongst personnel, the force is also committed to building a strong tie with the host community as well as other security agencies in the state to ensure peace and harmony for all Nigerians. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live. Nationwide will continue with Agatha in Benin after this timeout to stay on.
Nigeria, African beauty on the Gulf of Guinea, blessed with natural landmarks and wildlife reserves. Nigeria, largest economy in Africa. Nigeria, famous accomplishment in entertainment and sports. Nigeria, resourced with globally respected human capital. Our uniqueness lies in our tenacity, our acumen, a testament of success. At NTA, we are forever proud to be the showcase channel of this positive energy and the reflection of the good in our nation. The capacity to tell our nation's story would not have been possible without the support and patronage of the three arms of government: ministries, departments, agencies, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, and of course you, our esteemed viewers. As we wish you a prosperous new year, let's get set to make 2023 even greater together.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria. Oh, better days are coming. Better days that gives us hope and strength. Determined to keep this hope alive, bringing the smiles back to all Nigerians.
It's a new dawn in Nigeria. Renewed hope beckons on our people. The silver lining dots the skies. The firmament portents a bright future as the people of Nigeria move to vote a man whom they have come to trust for the realization of their aspirations for a better Nigeria. That man is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. He has been tested. He can be trusted. Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023. Vote Kashim Shettima as Vice President. Vote APC. Surely with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the smiles are returning. We are close to home.
Bringing them smiles back to all Nigerians.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
The occasion gives cause for reflection and reminds us of the sacrifice made by our armed forces in preserving the unity of the country.
All ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to this account. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
on Nationwide, this is Benin. Here, 2022 flood victims in Ilushi, Esan Southeast local government area of Edo State have received agricultural inputs to cushion effects of the havoc wreaked on farmlands and ensure agricultural sustainability in the next planting season. The gesture, being facilitated by the federal and state governments as well as agricultural agencies, is sponsored by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. Victor John Acha reports.
Farmers in flood-prone areas like Ilushi are affected and displaced almost every rainy season, but they were worst hit from the flood of the outgone year. Recognizing the importance of giving farmers the necessary support, federal government agricultural agency, Life ND, and the state government distributed some farm implements to victims in Ilushi. The items distributed to the farmers are improved rice seedlings for R44, fertilizers and chemicals to support them in their farm businesses and to ensure sufficiency in the country. The coordinator, Mr. Jude Ekpu, who sympathized with the farmers over their losses, said, with the federal government intervention, there is hope for the farmers to go back to farm and have better yield this year.
IFAD has so graciously brought money to buy items like rice, fertilizers and chemicals to put them back in business, to support their livelihoods so that they can have support this coming season.
The beneficiaries thanked the government and agency for the gesture.
After the flood, I was thinking all hope was lost. We never knew that federal government and IFAD would come to our aid.
I should not try. Help us. May God help now.
We're very happy. So now we feel start our farming again, and not in April to May we'll get rice to they sell.
Other flood affected communities in Edo State are expected to benefit from the distribution before the next farming season. Victor Odion Acha, NTA News.
And mothers in Edo State have been praying for peaceful elections and for God to raise leaders that will foster unity and work for the interest of the people. The women converged on the prayer ground of Family Intercessory Ministry, Benin, to pour out their hearts to God for divine revolution and intervention in challenges in their homes, the state, and country. Beginning of every year, mothers from different denominations gather for this program, Mothers Decree a Thing. The theme this year, Divine Revolution, is called from Book of Psalms. It's about praises to God for the outgone year, declarations and prayers for a better year and country as the nation begins with some major activity, the elections.
Anything in me that will not cause a new Nigeria, let that thing die now.
The message is clear from the convener, popularly called Iye Mohia, as she urged Nigerians to follow God, who alone can rid the nation of challenges.
God, help our nation. Help our nation. It's another election year. Take our hand, amen, to polling units. Amen. When we want to do the wrong thing, let there be a force from heaven who will direct us to do the right thing.
It was not just prayer sessions alone. Women were empowered. 8 got cash to start businesses. Another 8 got sewing machines. Some hair dryers, while the widows and poor got gift of wrappers for the new year. That's our package. Ruth, it's back to you for more reports.
Thank you, Agatha. Security experts have called for more engagement with traditional rulers and youths to enhance Nigeria's security architecture this year. Discussing expectations in the security sector in 2023 on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, they recommended the deployment of more technology to complement the present security network. Ekemini Williams reports.
Security in Nigeria has lingered and become a recurring threat to the broad spectrum of national life. Experts on the program X-rayed developments in the security sector in 2022, describing it as a year of high and lows, which must be improved upon.
And if you look at the Northeast,
we have what is now referred to as greater peace as compared to what was obtainable. And one of the yardstick is looking at the number of almost 83,000 Boko Haram terrorists that voluntarily surrendered. You know, the administration has bought nothing less than 38 fighter aircrafts for the Nigerian Air Force.
I know politicians are trying to use it for their political gains, but in national security, you don't bring in politics into it. It's as a result of credible intelligence that were coming in from the Nigerian people to the security forces.
We have tremendous improvement in the Northeast. However, in the Northwest, even within this week, I think even entering into this year, we have people being kidnapped. We have bandits issuing ultimatum to villagers.
They were concerned about the readiness of security agencies for the task ahead, especially the general elections and the national population and housing census coming up this year in view of the incessant attacks on INEC offices.
Now, the attacks of not just the INEC facility and particularly in the southeast shows that the general election security will be a daunting task.
The expert, including youths and the traditional institutions, for a collective approach towards combating crimes as well as fostering greater synergy among security agencies.
If we take the numbers properly, the police leadership must come clean and tell the Nigerian government and the Nigerian people the number of policemen they need on the streets to adequately police the country. And then they should be able to tell them what sort of equipment they need to have a minimum of 5 minutes response time, at least in the cities, and 10 minutes response time in the rural areas.
The guest urged Nigerians to make conscious efforts to take back their country from criminal elements. In Abuja, Kemini Williams, NTA News.
The Community Support Directorate of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council has taken grassroots sensitization and mobilization to Karomajigi community in the FCT. Ifoma Ojinta reports.
Mobilize the base at the communal level to ensure the victory of Tinubu Shetima aspiration. The Community Support Directorate of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, led by its director, Abdullahi Ahmed Miagogo, urged party loyalists and supporters in Karomajigi community to vote for the APC at all levels. He assures of more of government visibility at the grassroots, adding that the physically challenged, women and children will not be neglected if Tinubu is given the mandate.
They should vote for APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashi Shetima, and by God's grace, we will not disappoint them, and we will hold them, and we will give them all what belongs to them. We will make sure that we will supervise directly, just the way we come here and listen to them, and have their complaint on our heart, and by God's grace, we will channel it to the appropriate time when the time comes.
Although members of the community promised to support APC presidential candidate and his running mate, they raised some of their challenges expected to be addressed in the shortest possible time.
We believe APC will help us, and that is why we gather ourselves around to make sure we vote for the party. Believe in moving forward, because I believe that what they are here is to move Nigeria forward.
The directorate also educated members of the community on their rights to exercise their franchise and ensure they collect their permanent voter cards. Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
Following the signing of the 2023 appropriations bill by President Muhammadu Buhari, we sampled the opinions of some Nigerians who commended the president for signing the budget into law.
Excuse for offices to say that budget have not been signed. Budget have not been signed. Now that it has been signed, we wish that this thing will work. Will go down. We will go down to the grassroots level so that everybody, myself, business people, non-business people will enjoy it. That's what I said. I said kudos to the president, kudos to Nigeria.
We call it national budget, so it's not only for civil servants. It should be all encompassing. Even Mama, Baba Michai and all this, they should also feel the impact that, oh, a budget has been signed on their behalf, and it should go down well to letting them also have a feel.
We have signed the budget into law. I want to believe strongly that if it is well implemented, it will better the lots of the citizens of this country.
All right, let's move to another destination, talking about Maiduguri, where we join Abubakar to get some more reports from that end. Abubakar, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Ruth, and compliments of the season to you. Let's begin with happenings outside Maiduguri. Southern Borno APC zonal campaign rally has been held in Biu town, headquarters of Biu local government, with a call on citizens to vote for APC from top to bottom. Mohammed Goni reports that the rally was held in Biu Township Stadium.
Biu Township Stadium was filled to capacity as APC stakeholders and supporters from all the local government areas in the senatorial zone, cutting across age and gender, trooped out en masse to show their support and solidarity to all candidates of the APC. Flanked by critical stakeholders, Governor Bagana Umar Zulum presented plaques to all the candidates vying for membership of the State Assembly in the zone and thanked people of Southern Borno for the massive vote during the 2019 general elections. The governor highlighted developmental projects executed in the zone and assured them of more dividends of democracy if given the mandate in the 2023 general elections, even as he enjoined the citizenry to vote for all APC candidates from top to bottom. Other critical stakeholders of the APC and the candidates that include the Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume, Muktari Betara Aliu, State Chairman Ali Bukar Dalori, Deputy Speaker Abdullah Musa Askira, and Biu Local Government Transition Committee Chairman Saleh Ali reiterated need for voting all the APC candidates at all levels. State campaign rally was earlier held in Maiduguri, bringing together critical stakeholders of the APC in Borno State. From Biu headquarters of Biu Local Government, Ahmed.
And still in the southern part of Borno, Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has assured to provide more dividends of democracy to all local government areas across the state. The governor gave the assurance when he attended the Bura Annual Cultural Festival held in Marama town in Hau local government area. Here again is Mohammed Goni with the rest of the story.
The Bura Culture Festival celebrated annually offers the citizenry the opportunity to interact and showcase the rich cultural heritage to the world and inculcate a sense of cultural solidarity among the people. The occasion featured cultural dances from the Emirate, which include Waksha Waksha and Bonsui, among others, with cultural materials displayed at the occasion depicting the age-long tradition of Bura people. 6 illustrious sons of Biu Emirate that include General Buratai and Muktari Betara Aliu were recognized and awarded for impacting positively on the society.
Today's thing is very apt. It is very important for all of us to maintain our own culture. We should not allow our culture to be washed away by modernization.
The governor, who highlighted some of the developmental projects executed and ongoing in the senatorial zone by his administration to include schools, hospitals, roads and boreholes, as well as empowerment of the people, said there are more developmental projects in southern Borno than other parts of the state. Emir of Biu, Mai Mustafa Umar Mustafa II, applauded Governor Zulum for the developmental projects in the Emirate Council and assured of his people's support to his administration. Chairman of Marama Community Development Association, Samuel Saleh Bola, said the festival has afforded them the opportunity to expose younger generation to the cultural practices and preservation of languages as means of communication as well as aspects of life. In a paper titled Culture as a Tool for Economic and Political Development of Bura Community, Professor Hassan Bilia traced the historical origin of Babur Bura, saying that Bura and Babur are one and the same people, expressing the need for unity among them. Chairman of the occasion, Senator Ahmed Hassan Barata, and the chairperson, Dr. Selma Anas Kolo, thanked Governor Zulum for the developmental projects in the area and appreciated the people for gracing the occasion. Mohamed Goni.
It's now time to take another break on Nationwide, but Mina in Enugu Network Center will be back with more stories for us shortly.
Sleep on people this day. Tinubu Stop the people they shout. We want. Even from the house that they say.
All our country people, they talk with one voice. Them say that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu them want as president of Nigeria for this president election.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu na the man wey we all know and see all the good work in dey do for we country, especially when him be governor of Lagos State.
Now him God use turn Lagos to the best state for Nigeria.
Today, many people all over Nigeria they like to go Lagos, go settle down for business and better life.
And because of the good work when Bola Tinubu do,
people of Nigeria, as Asiwaju do for Lagos, now so him ready to do am for the whole country.
Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party wey get broom.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
And welcome to Enugu Network Center. Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has assented to the 2023 budget of consolidation and transmission. Chika Ugu reports that this followed the approval and presentation of the 2023 budget to the governor by the Enugu State House of Assembly.
The budget of consolidation and transition, which was presented by the Enugu State House of Assembly to Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi for assent, followed a speech of gratitude by the Speaker of the Enugu State House of Assembly, who expressed satisfaction with the existing relationship between the executive and legislature. The Enugu State House of Assembly Speaker noted that the budget of over 166 billion naira will consolidate various sectors in the state.
Definitely the budget, like I said, is now about 10.7% lower to that of last year. So it shows that the people at the head of the management of finance management section of this administration and you are very right there. You know what we are doing. It's a very wonderful budget. It's not bogus budget.
Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who noted that this will be the last time he will assent to the Enugu State budget, expressed gratitude for the opportunity to serve and hoped for substantial realization of the budget in order to derive the expected internally generated revenue (IGR).
Our administration through this mentality of this making the budget seeks to come and perceive the state government the inbound administration.
The budget, which was duly signed by the governor, is expected to take effect from the 1st of January 2023. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
40 trainees have graduated from Public Equipment Development Institute, SEDI, Enugu Skill Acquisition and Youth Empowerment Program. Again, Chika Ugu reports that the beneficiaries of the program were drawn from various states in the country.
Skill acquisition, no doubt, is a viable tool for poverty reduction, and to this end, SEDI Enugu has continued to train youths in various skills to boost the economy, reduce the rate of unemployment, and make them self-reliant. These 40 participants were drilled for 3 weeks on machine building, woodwork, electrical wiring and installation, as well as information communication technology, ICT.
You have learned how to help yourself. It will be evident when you create your by yourself. It will be evident when you are employed.
Instead, we believe in sticking to standards, doing things rightly. When you do it, your people will ask you, where did you learn? Where were you trained? Remember, never you forget to say, what
you have got to, you can create job and make money.
The graduates were presented with empowerment kits and certificates. This gesture by the federal government, beneficiaries believe, will go a long way in transforming their lives and impacting positively in the society at large.
I did training in electrical wiring and installation. I have been well equipped with the practical, which is going to enable me to teach my children, my students very well, and as well practice what I've learned here.
The graduates presented some of their handiworks as dividends of the training. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for a continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Mina. One sector we hear that has done incredibly well in 2022 under the present administration is the nation's examination bodies. Olainka Ojo in this report tells us how they have been able to achieve this feat.
Nation bodies, namely JAMB, WAEC, NECO, and NBTE, have raised the bar, especially in the operationalization of various examination exercises.
When NUC or MBT approves a program for Kaduna Polytechnic, NUC or MBT does not need to take the pain of writing to JAMB. Once they communicate and put it on the platform, only Kaduna Polytechnic will see it. Only JAMB will see it, and the person who had written it.
JAMB and WAEC are already advancing, applying digital technology to their processes.
This is the way to go. Nigeria must go digital. And I'm talking to my rectors. We must buy into it.
In other areas, the National Examination Council has been able to achieve the following aside successful conduct, as well as the National Common Entrance into Unity colleges.
Examination will be fine for me.
We are looking at taking the best of the 69,000, and there are standards that measure what you take.
With the setting up of various committees geared towards enhancing efficiency and effectiveness of the council's operations, it only takes the council 45 days to release senior secondary school certificate examination results. The West African Examination Council WAEC, in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, have perfected the electronic certificate management system, an online portal deployed to enable private candidates request for their certificates online.
I wish, therefore, to use this rare privilege, Mr. Minister, to kindly request your intervention to enable us to secure the required financial assistance for the procurement of the only outstanding machine to make this project operational.
I don't know that I'm in a position to promise what you asked for last one, because it is quite big, and I know the economic situation now, but I want to tell you that I will do the best that I can to have this government do what it can do.
Moving to the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, aside the principal challenges listed by the registrar, the board has been able to reduce sharp practices by both staff and candidates.
My challenge is I'm trying to get my profile code and I couldn't get it.
Why?
They said my NIN has been registered to a GSM number.
Phone is a marker, and once the phone is misplaced, you please go and get it replaced. And when you get it replaced, there must be a procedure to get into our system.
Candidates with special needs who do not see their limitations as a barrier are given new sets of brailles, courtesy of the federal government.
I'm going to do a lot because I don't even know how to do braille to start. And I was actually saying when I get back, I will definitely start planning. But I don't have this equipment.
Number 1, A. Number 2, B.
Examination malpractices are still endemic in the education system. To this end, the supervising ministry has directed examination bodies to tighten the noose.
From the block when it's teaming coordination involved sharp practices such as examination malpractice. NTA in charge of any aspect should wake up to their responsibility.
Like other sectors, adequate funding has been a challenge. To this end, experts, however, called on players to think out of the box and always see prospects in challenges. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
All right, next is sports update.
C'est sûr que la construction n'est pas forcément la plus belle, mais c'est derrière la conclusion qui se produit. Contrôle de la cuisse, enchaîne.
Former Super Eagles assistant coach Sylvanus Okpala has cautioned handlers of the national team and Nigerian Football Federation against luring players, especially foreign-based, to play for the national team if the Eagles are to return to glorious days. Perfect mixture of home-based and foreign players is a solution to challenges facing the team, as experienced during the era of late Stephen Keshi as coach of the team. And from the English Premier League, Arsenal will have another opportunity tonight to extend their lead points with a date with Newcastle United. Leicester City will welcome Fulham, while Everton will attempt to better their league standing against Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester United must not sleep in the match against Bournemouth to maintain top 4. In another news, there are indications that World Football Governing Body FIFA will ask Nigeria and other countries of the world to name a stadium each after the late Brazilian football legend Pelé, who inspired Brazil to emerge 3-time world champions, as tributes and burial rites of the late soccer icon is at its peak. At a vertical cemetery in Santos, after a private funeral with wife and restricted persons in attendance. With sports update, Olunde Kuntola, NTA News.
That's nationwide. Thank you very much for your time. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.
And welcome to another amazing edition of your weekend.
I'm telling you, it has to be heat, it has to be steamy, it has to be hot, but we've decided that, somebody has to tell a story that is family oriented.
I got you out to fight you!
Welcome to another edition of Talking Movie.
If the lamp was everyone he ever cared about.
See, when you say pour out, you can't call water. You can't see, you don't excavate water.
This is a #1 program, Gallery.
Do you love to gist or gossip?
It is extremely wrong. And we cannot take it.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Whip and Grill.
Welcome to the slant today, where we say it as it is and we get to enjoy ourselves talking about various things that are happening in our society.
Celebrate a breakup like this. Beyond 6 packs.
Because your job still remains as the man to protect the woman, to project the woman.
You need to do that again.
Dance like no other, yeah, no other. Dance like no other.
you.